Meanwhile, Bertie had raced into the station. "I won!" shouted Bertie. "I won!" And he waited eagerly for Thomas. He waited and waited. But Thomas had forgotten about the race. He was thinking about the children. "I can't let them down. I can't let them down." At last, Thomas puffed back into the big station. The station master gave Thomas's driver the box of medals. Then Thomas set off again. He arrived just in time. "Well done," said Sir Topham Hatt. "Thank you, sir," panted Thomas. Sir Topham Hatt presented the medals to the winners. "Congratulations." "Thank you, sir." The next day, Bertie and the medal winner arrived with a surprise for Thomas. A small boy presented him with a gold medal on a red ribbon. "You were very helpful at Sports Day." "So we thought you should have a medal of your own," added the boy. "My very own medal," said Thomas. "Thank you." "3 cheers for Thomas, the #1 engine. Hip, hip, hooray!"
"But I still won the race," tooted Bertie.
Thomas just peeped happily. Summer is a busy time on the island of Sodor. Vacationers have so much to see and do. There are trips to the seaside, balloon rides in the country, and a brass band playing in the park. One morning, Edward was in a hurry. He didn't even stop to say hello to Stepney. Thomas was pleased to see Edward. "What's up? Your smile's as broad as your smoke box." "I'm on my way to pick up the brass band," replied Edward. "The concert is tomorrow night." "Don't crack your smoke box," teased Thomas. Edward couldn't wait to hear the brass band play their wonderful music. He was so excited about meeting the brass band that he didn't notice the giant crane. It was unloading a huge ship's boiler. Suddenly, the crane swung the boiler and knocked Edward right off the track. Cranky had been watching. "You useless little engines are always in the way." Poor Edward. Sir Topham Hatt came immediately. "We will take you to the fitter's yard, and Bertie will have to meet the brass band instead of you." Edward was sad. That night, a raging storm rolled in. The fitters worked through the night trying to mend Edward. The rain pelted down. Now Edward felt sad and very damp. Morning came and Sir Topham Hatt arrived. "Please, sir," pleaded Edward, "will the fitters be finished soon?" "Not soon enough, and the band can't wait. I'm sorry, Edward. Bertie will take them to the concert." Edward felt worse than ever. Bertie collected the brass band and set off immediately. He bumped cheerfully along the country roads, but there was trouble ahead. Last night's storm had flooded the road. Bertie's driver decided to take a shortcut. but it was very muddy. Bertie's wheels did not like the mud. They scooted, they skated, they slid, they slipped. "I'm stuck," he groaned. No. Bertie revved his engine, but his wheels spun round and round. He couldn't budge. The brass band were worried. "We mustn't be late for our concert." "Tune up your tuba," cried the leader of the band. "We'll call for help." By now, Edward was mended and hooked up to his coaches. "I can hear music," said his driver. "That's not music," wheezed Edward. "That's an alarm." And they raced off to the rescue. The musicians were delighted to see their old friend. So was Bertie. "I'll get you to the concert in time," Edward cried. "Thank you," said the worried bandsman. That night, the concert was a great success. Everyone loved the music, especially Edward. It was a hot summer's day on the island of Sodor. The engines were busy taking freight cars full of slate from the quarry. The heat and dust made their axles ache.
"We've shunted every freight car in the quarry today," wheezed Scarloey. "But I'm too thirsty to feel useful," complained Peter Sam.
The summer sunshine made people thirsty, too. The refreshment lady was keeping very busy at the refreshment stand. The next day, Sir Topham Hatt had news for Peter Sam. "The refreshment lady needs a place for another refreshment stand."
"I can find her a beautiful place."
"I knew it. It will be a piece of cake."
"But refreshment stands don't live in cakes."
"It's just my way of saying it will be fun and easy to find the right place, dear." Peter Sam puffed along to the Woodland Way. And the old Castle Causeway. And the Whispering Waterfall.
"Thank you, Peter Sam,"
said the refreshment lady.
"but I don't know what to do. I can't make up my mind. What a shame I can't build a refreshment stand in each place."
Peter Sam was very disappointed. He didn't feel useful. That night there was a storm. Lightning flashed and thunder crashed. The rain poured down. All the engines were talking excitedly about the storm, except Peter Sam. He was thinking about the refreshment lady's stand. The next morning, Sir Topham Hatt came to the sheds. "Peter Sam, I want you to go and help Rusty clear the storm damage."
"Yes, sir,"
Peter Sam said, and hurried away. At last, he thought he could be really useful. Peter Sam soon found Rusty. The storm had swept the shed onto the line.
"Driver says this shed is useless now." It's not a shed, exclaimed Peter Sam. It's an old railway coach.
And that gave him an idea. Back at the yards, his driver spoke to Sir Topham Hatt.
Peter Sam thinks this old coach could be a refreshment stand.
I'll have Jem take a look. I'm sure he can repair it, agreed Sir Topham Hatt. Sir Topham Hatt was right. In no time at all, the old coach had turned into a refreshment stand on wheels. The refreshment lady could hardly believe her eyes.
Oh, it's beautiful. I told you it would be a piece of cake.
Sir Topham Hatt paused for a moment. With many cakes in it, I'm sure. Then he turned to Peter Sam. And you shall pull the refreshment stand special.
I'll be proud to, sir,
replied Peter Sam. Now the refreshment lady serves refreshments at all her favorite places. At Woodland Way, the old Castle Causeway, and Whispering Waterfall. Peter Sam is a happy engine.
I told you it would be a piece of cake.